How's everybody? Monica, I want to be out there on the beach with you.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How is everyone?
Good.
Mm.
Oh, there's Ralph. Hey, Thalia. Hey, Lynn.
Hey,
I'm glad you guys made it. Hey,
yeah.
hey, Catherine. Ralph, we're dressed alike today. How's everybody doing?
Fabulous, Rolonda. Thank
Good.
you. Hey, everybody.
Good. Good.
Hi.
Tell me what you've been up to, and then I'm gonna tell you what happened and what they were talking about at the VO Atlanta conference
Oh,
to
yeah.
give
And
you.
she was fabulous, y'all. I have to tell you, all I saw was Rolonda zipping everywhere. She was all over the place.
Nice.
Us all over the place. You know why? Because it's so intense.
It is.
And there's so much. Valley, I'm so glad you were there.
I am
Uh,
too.
yeah, it was. And I want you to share what your impressions were because you got to zip around because there is so much to do, so many people to see,
Oh
so
my
many
gosh.
workshops. You won't hit them all. And then there are people you want to see from last year. You want to make sure you met that casting director from CNN, or you want to get over there and make sure that you meet the guy who plays Porky Pig just because you want a picture with him. I mean,
Gosh.
it's just that kind of craziness. But now you go on and tell what were your impressions?
Oh my God. Well, so first of all, this was my first one ever.
And wait a
And
minute, y'all, and introduce yourselves because
okay.
different people come in because as people join the class, we get new people in. So I
Okay.
want everybody to know everybody. So go on and introduce yourselves before you speak. But go on.
Okay, so I'm Thalia Mingo. I am new to voice acting, but loving this journey so much. And I have to tell you, the VO Atlanta conference, like, put the coffin and the nail in the coffin for me. It's like I'm in, I'm sold. But I'm sorry, Rolanda is right. I'm excited because I'm so passionate about this now. That VO conference, if you've never been, I'm going to encourage you to go because, as she said, there's so much content. And first and foremost, everyone is so welcoming, everyone is so friendly. I walked into the hotel and people I never knew were, "Hi, how are you?" Hi. I mean, they see your name tag and all of a sudden you're in. So it was amazing. And my strategy was recognizing that most of the general sessions were recorded and I would get to see those on the replay. I focused on the workout sessions. And let me tell you, my day was booked. I was booked from 8 in the morning to like 7:30 at night because I wanted to experience it all. And it was great. And like I said, I saw Rolonda in passing. Everybody said, "Did you guys see Rolonda? She's over there." By the time I made it over there, she was gone. So I finally ran into her one night at the bar with a gazillion. Everybody was out and just having a great time. And I literally ran up to her and you were with Rebecca Lee and Dave Fenoy. And I just said, "Rolonda, hi." And we had actually been in the room working on our team challenge. I joined the team challenge, which was an amazing experience. Again, my first year in, but we had so much fun. It was just great. I'm going back. I've already registered for next year, just so you know. So if you've not gone, you got to go. That's my testimony about it. It was amazing.
Thanks, Thalia. And you make it sound so great.
It was great. You get so much because every one of those workout sessions, we ran out of time in Mari Williams, I have to tell you, because everybody was trying to get on the mic and everybody takes so much time with you. I mean, it's
Hmm.
it's just like these sessions where we get one-to-one time with Rolanda. That's how it is there. But
Yeah.
you're in these sessions with these amazing voice actors and they give you so much time. CNN, I did meet the woman from CNN to your
Denise.
point, Rolanda. And
Yeah.
she's like, "You make sure you email me. You make sure you stay in touch." It was
Oh,
amazing.
great,
And you
Thalia.
know what I was so impressed with? I did one of her workshops and she
Hmm.
said, "Now I want you guys to follow up with me, email me."
Hmm.
And then everybody was like, "Yeah," they wrote it down. She goes, "You know something? I do this every year." And people write it down and they're all excited. And I hear from maybe one or two people.
But
Now,
she
here's a
said,
major casting director saying,
hmm
reach out to me. We're,
hmm
we're family now that we've all been here together. So
hmm
and let me tell you, I met one of her clients who have for 18 years he has been like the James Earl Jones of European CNN.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. He was a most unlike in fact I'm gonna say you can go to my social media pages and look at some of the pictures that are running there, but they're just like regular people.
They
This guy
are.
wore a little hat, little skinny guy from London.
Okay.
And he very calm voice. You would never think honey, he has been banking for CNN for 18
Oh,
years. He's that voice.
Mm.
I'm like, and then that inspired me because I'm like, wow, maybe I want to be the American voice for CNN. I never thought about that job. That would be cool. Like
it
to
Mhm.
was
be the
cool.
voice of a show for CNN.
It was cool. I mean, and then Donovan Cornetz is doing a lot of it now with James Earl Jones passing away. I did his workshop and they actually played his spot. I mean,
Oh,
that's the beauty of it. You get to see these people and they're playing their spots. They played one of Rebecca's. That's why I was like, oh my God, I just met her.
yeah.
I love it.
And you know, and Donovan is so wonderful. He's
He is.
another brother who's so great. And Randy Thomas. Randy
Oh my
Thomas
gosh,
won the
yes.
first big award. She is the voice of the Oscars, the Tonys. I mean, she's the voice of our lives, y'all. She's been doing
Right.
this for 50, 40 years. And
Yep.
every major event, you hear Randy. So
I think I'm sorry, I don't mean to
go,
cut you off. What I was
no, you
impressed
go, go,
with
go.
her was that she got an award for NFL. She's the first female voice to voice the Super Bowl.
Mhm. That's right. That's
This,
right.
I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm
No, no,
done.
no, no. But you
It's
see,
just
Thalia,
now.
but I don't know about you, but Thalia, when I got back home, is my mic sounding okay? How's it
You're
sound?
yes,
fine.
I hear you
Okay, all right.
fine.
Okay.
Yep, you're fine.
And I'm gonna tell you why I asked in just a second. Um, but I was so impressed with everybody. The one thing that I kept hearing, the common thread, and I did a workshop on this, so I was so glad I was in the trend, but authenticity.
Yes,
Everywhere we went, every workshop, I don't care if it was the video game people, if it was the podcast drama people, the audiobook people, the commercial people,
yes,
animation, everybody was talking about authenticity.
yes,
You know, how do you and how you tap into that and bringing yourself to the table. I mean,
correct.
authenticity is not just sounding, and they hated this word, conversational. Everybody hated that word. They were like, but that's what you see everywhere. And don't be announcery, don't be a sell, don't tell me, don't show me. It's storytelling. But they kept
Mm,
going back to make it yours, make it natural, make it naturally yours. And you
correct.
will find that there be things as you are growing as an artist in this business, you'll find things that you just naturally do.
Yeah.
You know, I laugh all the time. So there's a lot of chuckling and laughing at a lot of things I do, but I'm going to tell you that works a lot.
Hmm.
That's my little thing. If they want a chuckly mom, well, I'm on that list.
I think one big takeaway I'm getting, Rolonda, from all of this too is we all need to enter this with, you said, just be yourself and don't
Yes.
try to be what we think they want us to be, because there's so many of us out there doing it that there never was, but especially today, there's no way we can possibly know what Randy Thomas is going to want to hear. You just have to do it. And that's why you have to do so many of them. And one time, two, three on up, they'll be like, him.
That's
Oh,
right.
That's
him.
right.
And
Yeah,
there was a point you brought up, Ralph, in an earlier class that you may do something and they hadn't even thought about that.
exactly.
And they'll know it when they hear it. And they'll be like, oh my God, did you just hear that? Because
Hmm.
they've heard 500 of the same old thing. And even the casting directors, they did a panel of all the casting directors. And
Amazing.
they were saying, like, give us something different. We get so bored so easily. We hear the same thing. We want you to win. We want you to be the last person we have to hear today.
True.
Mhm.
And so please come in and knock it out the park because we want you to win. And what they were saying, and what Bob Bergen, the guy who plays Porky Pig, who and we just became fast friends. I'm in love with Bob. Bob and his husband, I'm just in love with them. Bob said that when he was 5 years old, he looked at the television and saw Porky Pig and he said, Mom, I want to be Porky Pig. And she said, "You can't be Porky Pig. We're Jewish." But he tells that story and so many more. But it goes to tell you again that once you manifest a dream, you can make that come true. Here he was 5 years old, and here he is today, at my age, and he's Porky Pig. I mean, he's getting paid.
Okay. Hey, Evelyn, and your fierce, well-lit room
Evelyn.
there. Oh, good.
But also
Everyone.
what Bob and the casting directors were saying, another little note is take risks.
Yes. Heard that
Take
a lot.
some risk. It may sound crazy. Use your imagination.
Yep.
And what I'm starting to do, because we don't know what Trump is going to do, which way that's going to affect commercial sounds, and because we've had very diverse sounds lately. So what will that mean when with this DEI, whatever the fallout is? Be able to just not only be your ethnic self, but be your middle America self too. Start practicing that. Put some G's on the end of some of them words, you
Yes.
know. And then what I do, if it doesn't say what kind of teacher she is, I'll give them a Professor Wiseman type of teacher, very, very clear and very,
Okay.
Professor Wiseman. And then I'll give them something like this, like girlfriend on Abbott Elementary, something a little more grounded and a little more stern and disciplined. But they're both great teachers. I don't know what they're looking for, going to your point, Ralph. So I'll give them a little something of everything. I give them like the fun teacher who loves to bring daisies to the classroom, and then the other teacher that's walking around with the ruler. And then somewhere split the diff. Just be myself. I'm always me on that third take somehow, but I'm trying to find that me, what that is, and then go back and listen to it and say, do I believe this? Do I believe this person? And there are times when I say, oh, I like her. I'll keep her. You start getting these third, they always say actors speak in third person, but that's a good one. Evelyn, we're so happy to see you. How's your week been?
Prayerfully so. Very good. I'm doing the retirement thing. I'm taking painting and piano,
Oh, I
actually.
love it. Oh, you're inspiring me. I want to get my painting class in. I got to get my art class in.
I tell you, and it's a college type, free for seniors. It's called Audited, AUDIT. So
Uh-huh.
I said, well, why not? I mean, I've worked all my life. They need to give me something back.
That's right. Yeah. Well, listen, audio to audited
Yes,
in a good way. In a good way. Well,
yes.
we're so happy to see you. We've been talking about the conference. And listen, I've got two of my friends who are going to come in here in just a little bit. They are actors, but they are physical actors, but
Mhm.
they are also coaches and they do classes and stuff. But I wanted Brely Evans, who you may know from Family Business and Mind Your Business. I have the pleasure of working with her on Bounce TV, and she was also in Sparkle and a bunch of other stuff she'll tell you about. And also Dennis White, who you may remember, who played D-Rock in Notorious B.I.G. the biopic, and in Trap City and a lot of tough stuff like that. So the characters they have to play, from comedy to drama, I wanted them to drop a couple of gems on us and tell us how they prepare for character development. And because I think there's so much familiar that we have. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have the chat on. I'm sorry. Somebody trying to say something. Oh, maybe I don't have it on me. Is everybody there? Have to step out of the appointment, hopefully. Hey, Steve. How are you? Seeing you? Hey,
How
darling.
are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, sorry I have to head out so early, but I wanted to at least drop in and say hi. So,
Well,
and I saw
that's
that
a
you were at VOA. I saw that you were at VO Atlanta, so I was like, okay, and then you were talking about it. So yeah.
yeah. So we were trying to share some good stuff. And listen, before you have to leave, Steve, let me show you all this before our guests get in. I got a new baby. Y'all, this has changed my freaking life. Look at that little,
Oh, nice.
wait a minute. It's a
Sarah,
ball that goes on top. I don't want to mess up my sound. Maybe I'm messing up my sound. Am I messing up my sound?
Uh-uh.
I am. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me do my audio different.
When you touch it, it was messing up. It was fine.
Okay, we're better now. Did that
Yes, it's better.
very different? Okay, anyway, this is a little ball, and all it does is it goes on top of my microphone. Boop. Microphone goes up in a hole under there, and you speak through here. For those of you who are interested, it comes in a variety of colors. Both,
Yes, it
I'm a color girl. You know how we are. And this comes in different colors too. The
orange.
Yeah, I think they do have it in orange, but the
Oh,
ball comes in every color. These little things you can get to customize your color. Hey, Brely. But let me tell you what's so wonderful about it. And a variety of microphones can go into it. And I learned this trick from on at VO Atlanta from Dave Fenoy, Tops in Video Games. Dave got a job and had to work. So he went to hey Dennis, I'm so happy to have you.
Hey,
Um,
good to be here.
Good. We're gonna come to y'all in just a second. So he had to work at VO Atlanta. So he went in his hotel room, and instead of making what we call our pillow forts and all of that stuff, he just pulled out this ball and did his work. This insulates, it sounds like a studio. So all the background hollow sound is knocked out. It has been a godsend for me. It's called the eyeball, in case y'all are interested. And I do not have any links or anything. So I'm just telling you as I know. Chaotica, spelled Kaotica, eyeball, the Chaotica eyeball. And I love this because my studio is way across the apartment in a closet. And there are times when I'm working and I hear and I want to do one more take. And I have to get my computer up and go back in there and da 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 da. Right here, honey, I can work right here in this room, right here on my computer, and it sounds like I'm in a studio. Dave Fenoy turned me on to this. That was a godsend. So, think about this. If you don't have the space or whatever to make a great, make a studio, you can sit right there at your kitchen table with this and get your work done. All right. Another secret that was found at VO Atlanta from another voice actor when we're in a crunch. She got an audition. She's a promo person, and she had to do it right then and there. That's another thing about doing promos is that you have to be on call. That guy CNN doesn't have a light. He has to be on call for CNN, but he can travel with this, or he can do what this girl did. She was in the airport. She knew she was going to have to travel by the time she had to do this job. Do you know that she went into the chapel at the airport?
Oh, that's pretty good.
That freaking brilliant. She said the chapel or the mother's changing room are two quiet places. And then the changing room, you got that table to put up your computer and stuff. And then you could throw your coat over there and get on, be busy. So just little things like that. See, when you're hanging out at the conferences, that's the kind of stuff you talk about too. Right? Okay, let's get to our guests so we can get going. Brely, as I told you, it's a joy to see you, number one. But I have the joy of working with Ms. Evans on Mind Your Business on Bounce TV. And she
Yes.
is also in Family Business. Carl Weber's the Family Business, and you might have seen her on Sparkle as well. Dennis White is an actor and coach, and you might have seen him playing D-Rock in the Notorious B.I.G. biopic, and also some Trap City stuff. Man, you get some juicy characters. And he's a coach as well. And they have a class that they teach, by the way, y'all. I'm always telling you to take other classes, and they teach a physical acting class. But I find that my physical acting techniques come in so handy doing voice acting and vice versa. And as we're developing characters, I mean, there's so many ways that we can go about it. You can look at the picture if you're doing animation. That's a lucky thing you get if you're a voice actor and you get the picture. But for the most part, it's in our imagination. And just like the physical actor, Shakespeare said the clothes make the man. Well, we know that we really get into character when we get those clothes on and the hair done and all the costumes. So it's pretty much the same thing. Just one, you're just going to have to use your imagination. And the other, if you're lucky, you get a wardrobe mistress and a makeup artist and a hairdo lady. But
Right.
for the most part, this is it. Y'all talk to me and tell me a bit. You can share more about yourselves and what I said, but just when you're developing characters and breaking down scripts, what are some of the techniques that you find come in handy and you would suggest for people to keep in mind when they're doing such?
I know it's usually ladies first, but Dennis, I'm gonna let you go.
I'm a gentleman. I'm gonna let you go.
I know, I know. What can I just say this? I love that we are all color coordinated here. I don't know who
Yeah.
got the memo of this,
I
honey.
know.
Yes.
Yes, Brely.
Oh, baby, you're in there too. We were, honey, great minds. I said, look at all
Okay,
this
yes,
orange
you,
and red
Dennis
going on.
and Rolonda, we got that memo.
We
We
Okay.
got
got
the
the memo.
memo.
For sure.
But so yes, please, Dennis, please go first.
Okay. When it comes to character development, what I try and do is get the viewpoint of the script. Is it a drama? Is it a sci-fi? Is it a comedy? Understanding that. Then I do research on the director. What have they directed before? What projects have they worked on before? What are the scope of their characters? And then I relate the character in the script to a character in a movie that I've seen that's relatable. And then I relate it to a character, someone in my own life. And so I meld those two personalities. And then I have to look at it, and I tell my students when I work with them, when you're doing the character development, you need to say I, speak in I like this, and so that you can, instead of my character this, you want to meld yourself with this character. So when I speak in the id, when it comes to my character, I I move, I react, I speak as my character would speak, not as Dennis would speak. There's a lot of characters I've been in that I would do the total opposite to what my character did. But I have to make sure that the story, as an actor, as a voiceover actor, we are a conduit between the writer and the director and the audience. And our job is to make sure that the story is conveyed to the audience and not get in the way of it. And so when I'm doing my character development, I think of all those attributes, and I really do look at actors. I say, you know what, this reminds me of Lorenz Tate, or this reminds me of Jeffrey Wright, or this reminds me of this type of person. I don't do a caricature of them, but I use their sensibility in those particular roles.
I think that's what we talked about in class when we talk about what values does that character have, and those are the value. Are they authoritarian? You know, are they
Yes.
authoritative? Are they sassy? Are they snarky? Are they sarcastic? Even the example I was just using about I had to choose to play a teacher. Well, what kind of teacher am I going to be? So I played the lighthearted teacher with the daisies, and then I was thinking, just like you said, Dennis, look at Cheryl Lee Ralph on Abbott Elementary. So I
Mm-hmm.
tried to bring in those tones in my voice, and I was using my lips to kind of sound like just little things that I was you're not stealing, but you're
No.
borrowing a little
Borrowing.
something
Yeah.
here and there to build the character. So, and then, like I say, the best people in the world that actors find to base characters on are people at our dinner table. That old
Yeah.
auntie who drank the gin in the back of the party, all of those characters bring in. Hey, Judy. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Jerry. Come on in here. We've got Dennis and Brely, who are physical actors, but they are sharing with us some of the techniques that they use to break down characters. And Dennis was just saying the very important thing. The first thing you do is look at the script. Is it a drama? Is it now look at your genres, because promo is very different than documentary. So what is your pacing? All of those other things that we bring in. But what is your lane? Also, the other layer I would add to what Dennis said for voice actors is let's not forget our client. McDonald's is a very different sell than Jackson Hole. you know, that which is a famous hamburger joint here in New York. But anyway,
Well, I mean, as far as
I
acting,
wanted to add to what you said, Dennis, too.
yeah.
In the midst of doing all that work and background work, for me, I think it's important to find my own voice within it. So, yes, I totally agree with sometimes I say, ooh, how would this person or that person say this? But I like finding how I personally identify with my characters. If you guys have watched me, you might say, and I don't feel offended with if people say, gosh, it's like you, but you're in these different circumstances. Good. The different circumstances is what I want, right? Because I definitely bring Braley to the circumstance of the character. So if this is a character that likes Oreo cookies, and I know I can't stand no Oreo cookie, I'm gonna have to substitute that for that good old chocolate chip that I do like. And then I'm gonna talk about that thing in a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bring the Braley to to this character as well. Yes, I look at those before me and that kind of thing, but I think it's especially in voiceover acting, there is something when you can just sit in your most authentic self and love your voice and what you bring to a character. I think when you start having fun, you start getting booked, because that's what happened to me as a physical actor. When I said, "Oh, honey, they about to get all these curves. They about to get all of them," and
and let me tell you,
I'm
and
not body
Braley
shy at all. What y'all want me to wear? Nothing.
she works
Okay.
so hard on her characters because I watch her. She is breaking it down and working on so many different layers of her character. You
But
know,
Okay, we
the
it's the
background, and so
curves.
build a background even when it's not there. So a lot of the times you won't get a lot of information. You'll just kind of get what the words are about. But is like she said, is this a person of authority? Well, do they have children? Do they not have children? Do they live in the South? Do they live on the East Coast? Like there's so many questions you can answer just by simply taking your time with that script and fill in the blanks, because it's going to inform how your voice comes through.
And
And I
Absolutely.
think that's really
when we
important.
do character analysis as well, there's a format that I use that I've learned. Um, the first one is, what is the relationship with the mother? What is the relationship with the father? Where are they located? Age range, occupation, relationship to the people they're talking to. And as an actor, we're all connected, or just as a human, we
Human,
are the
yes.
result of who our father, our relationship with our father, what's our relationship with our mother. So, with a relationship with if a particular character, let's say I'm playing a character who has a ego problem, then more than likely I'll say his mother coddled him. His father was successful and was never at home. So I'm using those family situations to develop my character. The relationship with the person that I'm speaking with is very important. You know, there's a terminology called top dog, underdog. Which are you a top dog in that conversation, or are you the underdog in that conversation? Sometimes we're underdogs. Sometimes we don't win the scene. Sometimes we do win the scene. Where are we located? Are we in the South? So do I have a twang in my voice? Are we in New York? Are we in the Midwest? Are we in Cali? Where are we? So we know that our terminology, our dialect affects it, and especially when you're doing voiceovers. And that was a great note, Rolonda. You have to understand who you're working for, and what genre are you working for. Is this a commercial? McDonald's commercials is going to be shown on BET, or is it going to be shown on USA? You know, what genre are you working on, so you are not throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You have a very pinpoint accuracy of where you're going when it comes to your character.
Right. That I had to do an audition this week, and it called for a Southerner. It was for a company in Georgia. And it was for you're playing the crazy auntie. You are Braley. Why do I keep getting these roles?
Because hey, work that angle.
I am that auntie. I have a T-shirt that says,
Right.
but it was a Southern woman who was telling them to pack the lottery full of money or something like that, and it was like Georgia. Okay, so that's not Texas accent. That's Georgia. All right, Southern. They didn't say what kind of Southern, but they said it's somebody who would say something like, I was as crazy as a 10-legged dog. And I said, well, I know her. Pump that thing up, fill that thing up. I told you go on and put some more money up in there, put that money in there. Then I changed into another one and said, well, what if she's a black woman? You better put that money up in there. I tell you what's driving me crazy is you not putting more money up in there. That's what's crazy. So you can play age range, just like Dennis said. What part of Georgia, maybe? Because Raleigh, in North Carolina, speaks very different than we do down in Winston-Salem. And then I was Southern myself, so I did it. Go on, Dennis. What?
I said Ram Pride. I went to Winston-Salem State University.
You did not.
I
No. Did you know Roland Watts in the art department?
I did.
He was chairman of the art department. You might be too young, but that was my
Never
dad.
made an association. That's crazy. Yeah.
And he's a Kappa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That was my daddy. I have my honorary doctorate from Winston-Salem State.
Oh, I love that. Come on, Dr. Rolonda.
That's why we're wearing the same orange.
Yeah.
We did not plan this.
Look at us. We did not plan this, y'all. That's so crazy.
And I also have to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on. No, go on, Dennis, because mine's not important. I was just doing an aside.
It is important. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. In addition to all the color, I'd like to bring attention to the eyeglasses worn by Evelyn, Brely, and Judy J. They are working their eyewear today.
And so are you.
Eyewear in this class.
And Dennis and I did not say, hey, put on a baseball cap.
Okay.
It's synergy. It's synergy.
And hers is Oakland. Mine's Oakland Raiders.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. You
got
it. I didn't even notice
my
that.
God.
We're in the right place. We're in the right place.
So let me tell you a story. So I did a lot of voiceover work. I'm in a lot of video games. And when I was in New York, I was doing a lot of voiceover. So I went to this audition and, it was all black brothers and some females. And I went in and the script was very stereotypical. Like, yo, supersize that thing, bro. Like, it was really like that. So I'm like, man, I ain't doing this. This is oppressing my people and everything. You know what I mean? So I'm talking mad junk about it. I go in and audition, didn't care about it. 2 weeks later, I get a call that I booked it, right? I'm like, oh my God, am I a sellout, right? So the character that they had me read was a Subway commercial. And instead of doing that character, I was the host. I was the worker. And so I did it. And it was me and Chadwick Boseman. And
I love that.
Yeah, he plays the driver. And he was like, yo, let me supervise that thing. It was called Booty Doo, right? And and we did 15-second, 30-second, and a 60-second commercial. And we made a godload of money during that time.
Please explain that, Dennis.
Talk about the money.
You went in. How long did it take you to record?
It took us all of maybe 45 minutes at the most.
And you got paid every time it ran, and you made a lot of...
The 15-second commercials were decent. The 30-second was okay. That 60-second commercial, I mean, we made, to be honest with you, I made close to about $120,000 off that commercial.
It
ran. It's going on minding his own business.
It's voiceover for me.
Yeah. And this was in the 2000s. And so, that's when, me and Chad, when we used to RIP, we used to laugh about it all the time because that's when we realized, like, look, commercials are very stereotypical because they market it to certain genres of people.
Demographic.
Right.
So if you're unable to, change your voice and adapt, you'll get a lot of work.
Well, that's what I found, because, no matter what, and as a Southerner, I was sensitive to them being stereotypical. But listen, if that's who they're talking to, people in Georgia who happen to sound like that, then, have fun with it. Have fun with it. But that's even more of a reason. Get your accents together because your job is to show your range. And if you're going to do 3 takes, make them 3 entirely different takes. That means incorporating what we talked about today, taking risks, being your authentic self. There's nobody else like you.
That's it.
So your point of view is so important. That's another thing people were saying is that what really cuts through the auditions are
being you.
auditions with a point of view. Don't forget Uta Hagen's 9 questions. I love these that Dennis brought out here because they add to the first thing Uta Hagen asks is, who are you talking to? But I love Dennis says, what's your relationship to the person you're talking to? And even if you're selling an Advil, I remember I did a commercial and there was another girl in Advil, and everybody's had pain, or stomach ache. Oh, girl, I had heartburn worse than yesterday's coffee. Put a little stagger in your voice and hold it a little bit, those things that tap into your real life and bring yourself to it. I know that when I'm in pain, I tend to try to make a joke out of everything, but it's like, girl, I was sick as a 10-legged dog, so go on, Ralph.
No. So finish your thing. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I was just saying. It's just bringing in your authentic self to it.
And then I had to just, while we're on the set together or behind our respective microphones, Rolonda, then I come in with, Effie, we all have pain. Okay.
Ralph is the king of asides for our class.
I love it.
Any questions? Any questions?
Okay, Dennis, let me ask you this. When you do research on the director, has there ever been any time, is there anything that you discovered that makes you think differently about how you're going to approach the copy?
Yes. So there was a show called Mr. Mercedes I'm not sure what network it's on. And I auditioned, I did my self-tape. I did it, I filmed it, and I was about to submit it. And before I submitted it, let me go to IMDb and look it up. And the way I did it was comedic. When I looked it up, it was Stephen King. I was like, oh my God, I am not going to book this. I was in a whole different bracket. I was making it a joke, making it comedic. And so when I looked up the director and who it was, I had to retape it and do it serious and more dramatic. So that took an extra hour or so for me to do, when if I had to do the research beforehand, I would have streamlined my audition. So it's definitely, that's just, you want as much information available to you as possible.
I would also say, y'all, look up those words. Don't assume that you know the pronunciation of a big word.
Yes, that's super.
Because there we go back to our client again, because us who we work for, if you mispronounce the name of the product, you can trust and believe you're not getting that job.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure that you pronounce the names. And also it's important, like I had an audition for an animation, and I was lucky that they had listed on there who the director was and who the writer was. So I went and looked up their stuff to see what kind of, is there animation? Is it that kind of animation, or is it real people animation? Because animation has become very real and like real people. So I went to study their styles to hear, and I listened to the women's tones. What kind of tones do they like? Now, it may not be the same, but I trust and believe that director must like something up in there. So I noticed the women had tones like my voice, So little things like that, look it up. Go on YouTube University and study their videos.
That's it.
Yeah.
I would add cadence too, because I, just speaking from, things that we've done before, I was on a show called Ambitions. We talked really fast on there, not as fast as the gladiators on, what is it called, you guys? Not as, like the cadence was very, very fast.
Behind the gates.
No. Not even behind the gates. Are they talking fast on there?
No,
I'm talking about our girl. But anyway, on the show I was on, we talked really fast. But on other shows, then you can talk like kind of at a normal pace. But cadence is interesting too, that it will change up an entire, the sounding or the feel. just by the speed alone. So that's
Absolutely,
interesting
absolutely
to
right.
pay
Try
attention
it
to.
when you guys are practicing this week. Try doing your first take and then do the second take with a little more energy and speed to it.
Mhm.
And listen back and see if it sounds different. I bet you it'll sound better. Just add a little more pace to it, and it's not as fast outside as it feels inside.
It's so
Evelyn, a
true.
question.
Hey, Rolonda, do you when you do your takes? I mean, I'm sure now you don't audition, but when you
Oh, yes,
did
I
you do?
do.
That's crazy. There's no
Now,
reason.
now listen, they may say this is a request for you. That I
Mhm.
get. But that doesn't mean I have to audition. And in fact, that doggone Deborah Wilson got the last commercial. And I went up to her at VO Atlanta. I went, "You got that Red Bull commercial."
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
This
but
is
we audition. I mean, there are times people might call and just want you to do something, but you might get a request, but they probably requested three other people too, just to get an idea. And
well when you do your take, you do it. You do it time wise, like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
when I do promos, we do, just because that's the structure of them. But for like everything else, there's not really a time so much to it. I mean, if it's a 30-second commercial, I try to come in at 28 seconds, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you submit your audition, I know like when I do voiceover auditions, if it's a 30-second commercial, I make sure that my time is under that 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And and that's a great way to not get cut, because if you do a commercial and you're doing it 45 seconds and they want a 30-second spot, they're not going to look at you.
They're going to say, number one, she doesn't understand reading directions. Number two, she doesn't understand
Right.
time. And or number three, she just don't give a squat. So and here's the thing, you don't want the casting director to say that person is going to go in there and embarrass me.
Mhm.
You have to make the casting director look good. And if you do that, they're all going to be like, "Oh my God, she was such a joy to work with." Here's another thing that came out of the conference. Do not underestimate the power of your kindness. Just being good people,
Come
nice to
on.
people, fun to work with. That
Yes.
goes a long way, honey. That goes a long
Reasonable and
way.
considerate, all that stuff. I
All
totally
of that
agree.
stuff. Hmm.
Hmm.
How you show up, how you get along with others, how you respect the writing, because those writers have worked so hard on that. And also, even when we're talking about who am I talking to, those wonderful questions, even if you're playing a nurse in a Mount Sinai commercial, you have a life. So don't underestimate the power of those questions. And listen, the physical actors, we get a week maybe to learn our script and work this stuff out and stuff. Listen, I've got stuff due in the morning. And I have a life, and I've still got to get those things done in the morning. We don't have the luxury to go through all of that development but listen, you've got stuff in your hip pocket to pull out that will help you get some more layers and colors in a quick minute. You can make those and the more you do it, the more you're trained to really know how to the nut you're going for. You're the nut
Rolonda,
you want to swirl.
question, do you ever let your students send their voiceover reel to you and you kind of critique it?
Sure. And we do it in class also. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Evelyn, your turn.
Greetings, everyone. It's so nice to be here. And thank you, Mr. White and Mr. Evans, for all of your expertise. It's very valuable. And I would just like to ask both of you, when you started out, number one, did you start out with an agent? And number two, did you start out as actors first and then voice actors, or was it reversed, or did you do both at the same time? And that's what I'd like to know, because I'm trying to develop my own genre, and as you know, take all of your advice into account before I start.
Well, I want to congratulate you in developing your own genre, and I love your voice because you already know who I hear because you hear it every day.
She's our Maya Angelou of
Yes,
voice.
I just didn't even want to say it because it's just so obvious. What a gift. Oh my goodness. I don't know if she has a foundation or a you know, something that you can connect with to say, what do you guys need done? Because I can be the voice for you if you need something new said. But my Lord, lady, that's amazing. I was an actor first with no agent, no manager. I believe in me. And so I want to impart that into all of you. Be your own first opportunity. If you have to create voiceovers, I have a business mastermind of entrepreneurs who would love an opportunity for any of you wonderful voices on here to be hired for your first voiceover gig. So I most certainly can connect you guys with that. And it won't be the hundreds of thousands of dollars Dennis spoke of, but it most certainly will help you get voiceovers for your reel. And also you would have a client that you're going to be, doing this work for. So for me, when I started YouTube, I did like three-minute vignettes, me in different situations, comedy, and I just put them on YouTube. And no, did they go viral? Not at all. Maybe 100 people watched each three of them, right? But one of those persons happened to be a director who was on set of a movie called Just Right with Queen Latifah. And they happened to be in Queen Latifah's trailer watching my YouTube. And someone said, why don't you put your little sister on? Because everyone thought that I was Queen Latifah's little sister. And she said, Brely, no, I just call her little sis. That's my real estate agent. Hello? And so from that, the director said, well, call her. We'll put her in this movie. No audition needed. But I told the world what I wanted to do by employing myself on YouTube. So I encourage all of you to get out there, start letting people see your everyday, how you're training your voice. Are you doing warm-ups on your Instagram? Are you talking about this career that you're starting on your YouTube channel, letting them come along with it? Employ yourself first. And please stay, all of you, because everybody on here has a different voice, a different quality. And I don't know which of the brands I can connect you with, but this might be, and I only thought of this just now. When you said that, I was like, oh my goodness, I can connect them with the businesses and we can do commercials or voiceovers on their Instagram posts. You can begin to be employed now. Don't wait for an agent. Don't wait for a manager. Start today.
That's right.
That
And
sound
like
like a
little
commercial.
things, like I encourage y'all to do. And I don't tell y'all anything I'm not telling myself again. So don't even
That's
think
awesome.
that, okay? But like when I got my new little situation right here, I should be doing an IG live, excited about it, and talk about Dave Fenoy because I could get some of his audience. And then,
Come
tap
on.
it into VO Atlanta. That's what I learned at VO Atlanta. Just telling our stories as voice actors. Well, I tell you somebody else I got to hang out with who was so much fun. Stefan Jones. They call him Snack Daddy on YouTube, IG, all that. He's always eating something, testing food from restaurants, but he's got a voice like Barry Manilow. And when he eats some cheese fries and does a review, it's like you just fall in love with this man. As somebody said to the man with a voice, they said, I get pregnant every time I hear your voice. But he's created this whole thing called Snack Daddy. And y'all look him up. He's so much fun. But that's, he does promos, he does a lot of stuff for the sports channels and that type of thing. But for fun, that's what he does. And he's getting paid. He's getting sponsorships and the rest, but he's always keeping his voice out there. And he naturally puts on that Barry White thing just because he's making love to the food. It's amazing. I got another friend, Christopher Woodsworth, who's over there in Manchester. And what he does is he'll invite a friend and they will dub one of the major cartoon scenes. He'll choose a scene and then you practice dubbing. And then he puts it up on IG and TikTok. And it's fun to watch. It's like a live challenge, like we were talking about. But those things are fun to do. Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Great suggestion, Braylon. Okay, any other questions? Anybody got something they want to read?
I have a
Oh, this is
question.
bringing something.
I was looking for my to raise my hand, but my mic is open.
Jump in,
And
Kat.
this is hi. Thank you guys for coming and sharing. Again, it's a blessing for us. But you guys mentioned that, or Rolonda mentioned that you do a training class. Where do you do that out of? Live training. Where do you do that out of?
Well, we have that's a great question. We have a workshop coming up in Dallas, Texas, on the weekend of the 25th of April, and we always have like great industry professionals to come and speak and pour into our students. So we're doing that there. Where are you located?
I'm in New Jersey.
Okay, okay. We take our classes, our workshops to different states. We just did one in Atlanta. We got states for coming. So we should be in the tri-state area soon, but we do it all over. And we have a camp. It's called Celebrity Actors Mentorship Program, where we meet once a month and we just really pour into our actors and just give them the insight for whatever they're doing in their daily routines. And it's a monthly check-in. You know, we sometimes we are hustling and we don't get a chance to reflect on what we did this past month, or we didn't hustle as much as we should have. And there's someone like, yo, cracking the whip, like, yo, what did you do? What was your week like? What did you do today? Who did you connect with? What did you practice on? So we and this is to be honest with you, it's a brainchild of Brely, and I think it's brilliant that we are connecting actors from all different cities, states, and to build a community. So when one person is like, yo, somebody in my city is auditioning for a movie, the actors they submit their stuff there. So it's a whole different network. And so we it's called camp. So if you're interested, you know, definitely. And we have a really oh my God, like we have a crazy special guest on Monday because we do it the first Monday of every month. But this Monday, oh my God, it's ridiculous.
It'll be amazing. I see a camp member in here. Hey, Miss Monica. I was like, hold on, I know who that little face right there.
Yeah,
Hey,
Monica.
Brely.
Hey,
Hey,
Monica.
Yeah, camp is amazing. You know, that's what I love about what Rolonda's doing with voiceover and coaching you all, is because we all need someone who has gone before us, right? To kind of skip over those pitfalls and also get to the business, and connect you with others that are doing other things. I promise you guys, take this course. I've taken it myself. And it has most certainly been a turning point for me to like really start booking. The reason why I even asked it, I was wanted to know if she had heard all of you all's your voiceover reels, because it's really important to get that direction. Give her as much, of you so that she can just help guide you and help create this career that you're working on. Why go it alone? That is not the way. I'm telling you.
It's also
How do
important
we?
to get feedback so you know what
Yes.
it feels like to get feedback, so you're not like, oh, I'm getting so rejected, but you'll start hearing the same things again and again, and you'll know how to adjust yourself.
That's good.
Absolutely.
How do we get connected to camp? It's two-part question. How do we get connected with your community? And do you do any? I know you said you move from area to area, but do you do Zoom
Yeah.
camps also?
Yeah. So you can you can write this
No, put
down.
it in the chat. Somebody, because
Yeah.
I had celebrity actors. That's as far as I could remember.
I'm typing it
Okay.
now.
Yeah, type it in there where they can find you, because I want you to go.
www.brayleyevans.com and
Did y'all put it in there?
www
Oh, good.
and www.actlikeyouknow.org.
And they'll take you to the same place. It's just, whichever one you go to.
And we do
Uh,
private coaching, Zoom coaching classes. I do a lot of celebrity coaching on set and also through Zoom and one-on-one. And Brely is she's doing an amazing job on that aspect as well. So we can usher you into the next step of your careers.
Now
Thank you.
the most of the students have not made their demo reels yet.
Okay.
They're still learning the basics and how to find their range, and they're finding their own voices and that, but they haven't quite gotten, but I'm sure they're thinking, because part of the deal is think of 3 to 5 different voices that you can show your range in one genre. And so that's
Yeah.
really where they are. But really it's the chops of learning how to act and being authentic and breaking down those scripts and developing those characters is where we are pretty much now.
And then once you do voiceover and you start booking, it becomes a network, and people know your voice, and they'll start calling you, and they'll remember you. But it's a hustle. It's a very strong hustle, and just as it is on camera, it's the same thing as voiceover. So I think Evelyn asked about agents and managers. I didn't have a manager in the beginning. I grinded. I was hustling. I did some voiceovers without managers and agents, and I evolved to having that. Like the video games I didn't have an agent. I'm in the Warriors video game, Def Jam Vendetta video game. I'm characters in both of those. I didn't have
Now,
an agent.
you didn't have an agent? How did you get into video games? I'm sure people are asking.
Well, so the Warriors video game, I was networking, and I had a TV show on Fuse, and so I did some music and wrote for this guy who was doing some music, and he's like, I like your voice. Have you ever thought about it? So I connected with the guy, set up a meeting, and auditioned for the Def Jam Vendetta. The president of Def Jam came on our show, and we played the video game Def Jam 1, Vendetta 1, and if I beat him, I became a character. And I don't play video games, and I think he let me win. But but I became a character in that one, and then the other ones was just networking, and some I submitted myself for, but you have to put yourself out there. And at that time, it was only backstage. Now you have Actors Access, you have so many different platforms that are requesting for voiceovers. So you're gonna have to. I call this as an actor, whether we're doing voice or physical actors, we're part-time detectives. And we
That's
have
right.
to excavate those information and those avenues to further our careers.
And
I
see, here's the
love
thing
that
too.
part-time detective.
A part-time detective is true, because listen, if you tell me that uh you want to do promos for the Sherry Show, well, who does them? Who casts them? Who's been there before? Do that work. I want to do name a cartoon. I want to do Bugs Bunny, for goodness sakes. Well, what do you know the casting director? Do you know what studio that is? Do you know that anything? You know what? Even if I find a casting director, I go to YouTube University. I want to hear some interviews with them, because I want to know what they think is important to show up with.
Yeah.
So good.
So,
That's so powerful.
yeah, but that's part of that detective work. If you say you want to be a promo person for ESPN, do you even know who the casting person is? Do you know who the actor is who you just heard? Look them up. Look them
Yeah.
up. They're on IG just like the rest of us.
So Leah has a question, I believe.
Yeah.
Hi,
No,
Thalia.
Thalia.
Thalia, yes.
I love it.
Just a question for you, Braley. Am I saying it correctly, Braley?
Yes, Brely.
Braley, beautiful name. And Dennis, there's so much, there's so many resources out there. There's so much information. How do you decide? Like I've decided the genres that I want to focus on, but oh my goodness, there's like this, the resources are unending. So how do you prioritize where you go first? I mean, we were talking about VO Atlanta, and I was sharing, I was there. Oh my gosh, the resources I came back with. So now I'm sitting down and trying to decipher, okay, I know I want to focus on corporate narration and e-learnings, and I'm just giving you examples. And yes, promos and commercials. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I parse out, how do you do that even as you're working now? How do you guys decide where you want to throw your energy?
Well, when it comes to resources, I think you were very specific with the first two that you said, which were e-learning and corporate. I
Mm-hmm.
would make sure that my voiceover reel actually
Uh-huh.
went that way. And
Okay.
then I would take some of those resources to comb them to see which one of them are sourcing for that in particular. So I love the niche down. I think that's kind of important. A lot of
Mhm.
times we just want to do anything. We just want the job, you know. But
Mhm.
sometimes
I do it
being
all.
very spot on, then you become the go-to girl, you
Right.
know, for a particular voicing. So
Okay.
since you're niching down, I think I would comb through what you've gathered at VO Atlanta and then find out which ones are strong in the area that you prefer when you have your reel all tidied up and ready to go per your coach,
Hmm.
Dr. Rolonda.
Yes.
And then after that, attack,
Yes.
attack.
Yeah, just
Okay.
Mhm.
just pick. When you do your demo reel, you're gonna choose one genre for that demo reel.
Right,
So
for that
choose
reel.
one that makes your throat happy first.
Okay.
Grab it by the lapels and don't let it go, and
Okay.
just work the heck out of that. And
Okay.
then, and then when you get that down and going, then you'll get another reel going. But to get you
Right.
started and get you in the game, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it.
We as actors, we have to streamline. So
Mhm.
my my headshot has to look like the character that I'm auditioning for. I can't have a headshot of me smiling and being all cheerful when I'm playing a gangster. It
In
doesn't
the
coincide.
trap.
And he takes
So,
all the gangster roles.
I'm checking him out.
so
I'm like, you one bad mofo, or you a
Yeah,
one a
he
good
takes them
actor.
all.
but then when it comes to you, ma'am, when I was in early in my career, I did everything. I put I every avenue. I went after every single avenue
Hmm.
because I didn't know. I wanted to know, so I wanted to put myself out there. So if I want to do corporate, let me put a voiceover reel for corporate. If I want to do e-commerce, let me do it all.
Okay.
Let me throw everything out there and just go after it all.
Okay.
Then as you get into your career, then you kind of trim off some of the fats and have that autonomy to do that. But in the beginning, you want because you don't know. I use Jamie Foxx for example. When he came into Hollywood, he didn't come in as an actor or he came in as a singer. He wanted to sing.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do. It didn't work
Hmm.
out that well, so he started doing comedy. And then bam, he get actor, and then he got then
Ray
he went back to
Charles.
music. Yeah, then he went back
Yes.
to Ray Charles, then went back to music.
Mhm.
So he pivoted within the same aspect of his career path and was able to come back. So you might want to do corporate, but corporate might not want you, and you might have to do fast food commercials, and you blow up with fast food commercials, and
Which I
come
would
back to
love.
corporate.
And
And I
You
would
know,
love it.
so, something that I give to my students, and I liken it to a tree.
Uh-huh.
The tree trunk, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what you're known for.
Right.
Like, I'm known for acting, right? When you say Brely Evans, it's synonymous with acting. But
Yeah.
as your tree grows, what? It begins to have branches. And now
Yes.
I can sing, and now I can do a little dancing, and now I can do a little voiceover, and now I can do a little. So, but you want to be, like we said, just pick the one thing. And if you're a spiritual person, we liken it to, either Peter's way or Solomon's way, right?
Right.
He was a
Yeah.
rich man, but he said multiple streams of income. But you need to
Right.
be known for the one first, like
Right.
Peter did, right? He was a
Okay.
fisher first, and then you can go do the other thing. So um just keep that tree in mind and say, I'm working on my tree trunk right now, because
Okay.
once they know me for this, I'll be able to go on and do all the other things.
Wait till
Yes.
you see my branches.
Yes.
Okay, wait till you see my I
Wait till
like
you
that.
see my branches.
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
Tanya, come on, Thalia. Thank you,
Thank you.
Brooklyn. Thank you, Dennis. Okay, Tanya.
Okay, so I'm literally working trying to get my reel together. So I just need some pointers. So when I'm listening to the other reels, trying to get examples and everything, do you put sound effects? You put your own sound effects in there, or you just use your voice?
First of all, a producer should be doing it, and they will put the
Yes.
sound effect. You should not be
Okay.
doing your own demo reel. And that's another
Okay.
big thing that came up at the conference too. Get a professional to make your demo reel, especially that
Okay.
first, because they can tell when Bubba, your cousin, and then made them in the bathroom. So
I mean,
but get somebody. In fact, there were quite a few demo reel people I can turn you on to that were there.
yeah, please,
Just to
please. I'm
talk
so
with them
ready.
and they could send you. Yeah, because I know you're ready. You're really
Yeah.
ready to make yours.
What is
But
the ballpark for a demo reel?
you're gonna put down a couple of grand.
Okay.
But
Yeah. I
here's
think
the
it's like,
thing. I mean, you could pay up to 3. I don't want to see you paying up to 3. But you're
but
gonna
it's
pay.
gonna be a G at least.
It's
At
gonna
least a
be
G.
no question. It's gonna be a G.
Yeah.
But
I just
listen,
love
it
y'all.
may last
So
5
beautiful.
years.
Right.
It's gonna
Oh yeah.
last a long time. And
So
and
that's my second question. Sorry. You were saying that you have to have different reels for different genres, or just put seriously?
yeah, if you do promos, there's a promo reel. You do animation, there's an animation reel. You want to do
Oh,
video games. Why? Because if I'm a casting director and I want to cast you for promos, I'm not going through your video games to
right,
find
right, right.
promos. So really just stick in that lane to do it. Now, if let's say something comes up and it's not too animated and maybe your agent will send in your commercial reel just to get you a chance. But just make sure it's the best and make sure it's tight. Doesn't need to be more than a minute, 10 seconds.
Right.
They're not going to listen to but the first 3 seconds anyway. So put your best stuff right up in there, your most daring stuff.
Now, I'm always about balling on a budget when it comes to situations like that. So if you don't have the $2,000 or $3,000 to do it, then what I known people to do that has worked is go to a music studio, get a producer. You can find them on, it's easy to find producers at studios, and you know your copy that you want, and you book a 2-hour session, 1 hour of you doing your voiceover, and the other hour of them editing it and putting the sound effects
Music.
and effects. And you can do that for way less than $1,000. But you have to go in there knowing what you're doing. You can't go in there practicing.
Yeah. I think
You
that's
can't go in
what,
there like, well, let me try this. I think you got to go in there and be on it.
Good thing about a demo reel producer is they're going to challenge you. They're going to push you.
right.
They're going
Get
to
the
get an
best
idea
out
of
of
your
you.
voice. They're going to get the best out of you. But you want to be exactly what you're doing now, prepared when you get in that room. So when they're asking you, give me a little bit more brightness, you understand what that means, and without
Mhm.
freaking out, stuff like that. But yeah, and then there's always Fiverr. I think there's YouTube work now, TikTok. I mean, people are offering work everywhere. Upwork, you can find somebody. But the people who are known in the industry that do it, you gonna pay a little bit. But you're right, Dennis. I mean, the hustle is real, and you find you get in where you fit in and make it work. But make sure a professional does it because they're listening to all of that set. They want it as if you made that commercial. They should think you did those commercials.
Yeah.
I want to, where's my other phone? Oh,
All
Dennis,
right, so we're gonna wrap it up. If anybody has any,
can I ask Dennis a quick
sure,
question?
of
When you
course.
said, you have different headshots, or you know, so you have a run of headshots that you shoot for different things. Is that what I'm understanding you
For
just said?
physical
So
acting.
on my Actors Access, I think it's 12 different headshots.
Okay.
So they all exhibit different energies. I have one where I look like an attorney. I have one where I look like a police officer. One where I look like, the friend next door. One where I look like a father. They're all different. So when there are certain projects that come up, I don't need to submit the same headshot. I submit different headshots for the project so they can see me. This
I
is a
got
very visual when it comes to what we do, visual business. Same thing with the audio too, though. When you're doing voiceovers, they need to see what you sound like, or imagine what you sound like. Imagine what you look like by the way you sound. So you need to feel like if you're talking about, biscuits, we need to feel like you've got powder on your elbows. You know,
We want to
they
believe
need to
you.
feel that. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. You have to have your package for what you're going after.
Now they don't, most people, and this came up at the conference also, most all of the casting directors do not want a slate. But there are some casting directors like Terry Berlin, who does a lot of animation, done a lot of commercials actually, who will say, no, I want a slate. And we said, well, why? And she said, because it tells me who you are. It's like when you meet somebody, hi, I'm Rolonda. It's the first time they get to hear you and they want to hear you in your natural voice. Now, they said if you're playing a British dragon, you should probably say hello in that voice. So it doesn't throw them off that much. But if you're just doing something, Rolonda Watts, and only your name. You don't say, hi, I'm Rolonda. I'm reporting to you from New York. And, really want this job. I'm doing the role of, no.
TMI. Right?
And that's like a good handshake. So on that note, I think we got some good information there, folks.
That was really good.
Those of you who were too shy to play your stuff, you know you can always send it to me. But the next time we get together, we'll do more performance stuff. But I just wanted you to hear this as you're practicing and rehearsing and working on your scripts and getting jazzed. Those of us, Thali, I don't know about you, but I was on fire when I got back. I was ready to audition.
Oh, I was too, but it's like
I'm
I
on
gotta hold back a
fire.
little bit.
It's like I'm taking risk. I'm doing this. I'm doing
Yes.
all those things. We taking a course like you're taking now, or hanging out with Brely and Dennis, and only battening up the hatches of your art. That is so important. So important. Taking a comedy class, taking a fencing class. I don't know what you do, but taking an art class like Evelyn is inspiring me to do. All of those things inspire your creativity, your imagination, and bring out your authenticity. Art asks that you show the God in you. Be yourself, even with all the hooks, nooks, and crannies. I thought my voice, that old deep voice with old raspy voice, Southern accent, loud laugh, that's what makes me who I am. It's a brand. It's everything my mother told me to stop doing. Please, can't you get a more ladylike laugh? Please, could you lighten your voice a little bit? And all of this stuff is who I am, and that's what sells. So take the daring chance to make your failures your promise, or what you think are your failures. Make sure that you know that they are really your greatest gifts. Brely and Dennis, I cannot thank you enough. And you a bald-headed man, Dennis.
Yeah.
Come on now. Thank you so much. I think
Thank you,
brought so
Brely. Thank
much
you,
today.
Dennis.
Thank you guys for having us. Love you,
It's
love
fun.
you. Looking forward to hearing your voices on my
Thank you.
radio.
That's
Thank you,
right.
Brely.
And
Miss
listen,
Evans,
you.
Miss Evans, I think I met you last year at VO, right?
No, never. I've never
No.
been.
You know, oh, okay. She look okay. I thought for sure met her last year. Sorry.
I
she
just
That's all right.
said
Well,
she'll be
nice to
there
meet you.
this coming next year.
No, Tanya,
You've
that was
spoken it
Queen
into my
Latifah
life.
you
Thank
met.
you.
That was
I'll
Queen
be there.
Latifah you met,
I
Tanya.
used to work with Queen. I used to work with Queen, so yeah.
Oh, then you probably saw me around, I'm sure.
Yeah. That's it. You do look so familiar. Okay. Anyways,
Well,
thank
thank
you.
you guys. See you
Natalia,
all at
we're going to have
camp.
to
Love
find
you,
out
Bye,
love
you
Greg,
you.
which
guys.
Greg
I'm
that is.
seeing you. Thank you for having us, Dr.
Okay, wait a minute.
Rolonda.
Everybody smile for the picture. Wait a minute. Keep smiling. Wait, hold up, hold up. Hold up. Let me get my little capture right. All right. Okay. And 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And
All right.
All right.
Thank you,
first session for
everybody.
camp,
Good to see everybody.
our camp is Monday. So if you guys are interested, it's this coming Monday.
Okay.
Yes, every first
I'm
Monday
going
of
to
the
be with
month.
them
Please
this
be
Monday.
there.
I'm on with y'all this Monday, right?
You sure are. We're posting it now.
Okay, thank
Yay.
you.
So we'll
Thank
get some
you.
joy. Okay, y'all. Love you. Get home safely. You're already home. And all that good
Bye,
stuff. Have a good
Maya.
night.
Bye,
Thank
Maya
you.
Bye.
Angelou.
God bless.
Bye, Maya Angelou. You know something, Evelyn? I think
Mhm.
that what Braley said was an excellent piece of advice.
I
Mhm.
know. Excellent.
I think that was, and if you have a cover letter or something as if you, when you get ready to pass
Mhm.
along your reel, I will make sure some Maya Angelou people hear it.
Mm.
Oh, very
Okay.
well.
That
Very
is
well.
so great,
Yeah, I
Rolonda
think
and
that
She
was
could
a
Evelyn.
look like her.
wonderful suggestion
She
because
could
they
look
do
Yeah.
like her.
Absolutely.
documentaries and things, and you never know. I mean, like it's Poetry Month. Get on YouTube
Right.
or IG and read one
Oh
of her
yeah,
poems.
act like her.
Yeah.
Act like her, Evelyn.
Yes.
Channel
And
her.
Well, as
exactly.
you
Yes.
speak, still, I rise.
There
There
you
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 go,
can
go.
write
girl.
me
That's
down.
it.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
bitter,
It's like you
twisted
You
said,
gotta
lies.
do
Rolonda.
it.
You may trod
Come
me
on.
in the
Rolonda,
very
it's
dirt,
like you
but
said,
still like dust.
the
I
hustle
rise.
is real,
Does my
and there's
sassiness
so many
upset
avenues.
you?
There's
Why are
no
you beset with glue? 'Cause I walk like I got oil wells pumping
Oh
You
my
in
sound
my
just
God.
like
veins.
her.
Wait a
yes,
minute,
Just like
Evelyn.
glue
Evelyn.
and like
That's it.
mud
Stop,
Bottom
and
line.
Evelyn.
like
Stop
turkey
We
it.
gotta
Do
hear
it.
that
My
inside,
God.
next
just like
time.
hope springing high, still I rise.
All
Oh my
Oh
right.
my
Before
God.
God.
confused and broken,
Yes.
bowed
She sound
head
more
and
like
lowered
Maya than
eyes,
Maya.
shoulders
Okay,
falling down
Catherine.
like teardrops, weeping by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh
Oh
like
my
I got
gosh. You
gold
are
eyes digging in my own backyard.
Okay, Evelyn. Thank you.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Okay,
Oh
girl.
my God, you're
Yes.
so good. You've got to do that for April.
Yeah, you got to
And
get
wait a
up. You
minute.
got to
Oh,
start.
Evelyn, this
Yes.
Friday is Auntie Maya's birthday.
That's right.
Girl, you got to
Oh,
do an
Is
IG.
wow.
Maya,
Starting on IG.
You
Dr. Maya
TikTok or
Angelou's
whatever you got
birthday.
to do. Do it.
And what a beautiful tribute that would be for her on
Yes, it would.
YouTube
Oh,
or
yes,
Instagram
Evelyn.
You
or and
Oh.
you
know,
blow
they,
up and hashtag Maya Angelou birthday, voice of Maya, all of that stuff. Get your
All right.
hashtag now, voice of Maya. That's your hashtag.
yeah, they do
And start
a
now. That's brilliant. We just came up with a
Yes.
song
Amen.
for you.
yeah.
Amen.
They do an
Amen.
event every year in June in Charlotte. It's called Women Who Rise. And it started out with this
Oh,
tribute to Maya. She was there. I went 3 years in a row and she was there all she
wow.
passed away. Your voice, they still do the event. I could see them using you as
As an
Girl,
Oh my
oh
introduction,
my
goodness.
that
gosh.
Yeah,
Oh
video.
my
everybody that's
goodness.
there.
It's a
they're
huge
going to
event.
be.
I mean, yeah.
So,
They
Like,
even
can
have
you
to see
just,
you. Just
can you,
speak.
can you see this image? You're in an auditorium and there's a closed curtain. The curtain opens to reveal images of Maya Angelou throughout the course of her life. But Evelyn, you're situated backstage on a microphone. You are
That's what
not
I
seen.
said.
And we hear your voice coming through the auditorium, and everybody is getting chills because it's like, oh my God, it sounds so much like her. Yes.
That's beautiful.
That is
Amen.
Tell you
And they
something.
So
will
much.
think that it is her until you say
exactly.
something,
Yeah, they probably think
until
it's a
you say
recording.
something that is current, that happened after.
That's
And they're
right.
like,
Right.
That'll
wait a
blow
minute.
them away.
So
Oh, that's
Rolonda, in
beautiful.
addition to this class, you have created producers. We are line producers. Honey, we are already booking Evelyn. Okay?
Marketing.
You know I'm a big one on reinvention and that you should do it all. And if it starts with the voice to give you multiple streams of income,
Yes.
that's what's important.
You are
Go
Oh, I'm
for
so
it.
excited. Evelyn, you've got your marching orders.
Yes,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
do.
So proud
Yes.
of you.
I'm
Yes.
so gracious, everyone. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Enjoy,
On that note,
everybody.
y'all, sweet dreams.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Dream
Bye-bye.
big.
Amen.
Bye,
See
y'all.
you.
Love ya.
Bye, bro.
you.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
I'm doing it. That was so much fun. Evelyn, you better get on. Evelyn's racing off to go record.
Yes, you should be. Bye
All
now.
right. See you later, baby.